Hi all. If you're a miniature drawing class, you come here looking for instructions on how to do your final drawing. If you're not miniature drawing class and you've been playing along at home, great. Here's one more drawing to dig in on. Figure it out. Enjoy. The assignment here is a project I've done as my final in my intro drawing classes for years. I hang striped fabric on the wall and I make these cones out of paper to put up behind it. So it has this nice curve to drape around. Then I do dramatic lighting on it from either the side or above to create these intense shadows, these big areas of light and dark. Because remember, the whole key to a value drawing is areas of light and dark. In years past, this assignment's been done on rag paper. That's really good quality drawing paper. It's traditionally printmaking paper, and compressed charcoal. They start them in Vine to get the gesture in, and then quickly switch over to the extra soft compressed charcoal. My favorite brand is the Faber-Castell charcoal. And the extra soft lets you get these rich, luscious darks quickly. Because the softer the charcoal, the smoother it goes on, the easier it goes on. And you can brush that down and it gets to be this luscious dark. So my classes, I told you to wait and save that charcoal. Now's the time. So instead of you having to find your own stripe cloth, penning that up, lighting it, to draw this photograph. I'll put the link to it in the description. And when you're drawing it, please don't draw it off your phone. Your screen's just too small to be able to really see it well enough to draw it. So have it on a laptop, a computer screen, print it out, whatever you have to do that you can see it bigger. Plus, you should be drawing it more zoomed in than trying to draw this entire photo. There are two main parts in doing a value drawing. There's the structure and there's the value. There's the structure of the folds in the cloth, the ins and outs, the curves. And there's the lights and darks and how to fit all that together. So I'm gonna go over that. I'm also going to show a bunch of student drawings of this project from years past because it helps to see what's possible. These are not necessarily the greatest drawings, but they're strong and they give a range of ways of working. Some are very smooth and careful, some are more rough and jagged. And I don't care which way you work. I'm more interested in that you're showing the structure of each curve, and I'll go over the mechanics of that, and also the value, how you're building value. When you're building your value here, you have to think about the light hitting the entire scene, not just each individual stripe. And that's where people run into problems, is they end up wanting to follow the logic of one stripe all the way around. I'd rather you work it in kind of a zone. So you're thinking about how lights and darks fall across one whole space, one whole area. So there are four main values to worry about here. There's light hitting the white stripe, there's dark hitting the white stripe, there's light hitting the dark stripe, and there's dark hitting the dark stripe. So it's where light falls across both the lights and the darks, and where the shadows fall across both the light and the dark stripes. So the four main values that you have to show in this drawing to have it work. Now, there are plenty more values than just four. There's highlights, there's your deep shadows, the occlusion shadows where the light can't fall in between things, but you gotta show those four values where this drawing doesn't work. So that means a lot of brushing, a all that scrub, bring it back down. So you can take your eraser and carve out all the lights, even the light hitting, no, even where the shadows on the light stripe. Carve that out with your eraser and then brush down, and you'll end up pulling that charcoal from the shadow side of the dark stripe through and turning that white stripe in shadow gray. When you're choosing what part of this photograph to draw, I recommend that you not try to draw the entire thing. It's that many more stripes, it's that many more problems to solve. Maybe you pick a smaller chunk, like one part of a cone or one part of the valley. Make sure your spot has good shadows and good lights. Don't pick a spot with all shadow or all light. Then you don't have that contrast I wanted. And I want those 4 values, not 5, 4, to get it to build this drawing. When it comes to the structure, you want to gesture it in using vine charcoal. Then try to find the logic to the stripes. I would rather see you build the stripes with a piece of charcoal broken down to about the right size of a stripe, instead of trying to draw an outline around each one, because the stripes don't have outlines around them. And I spend so much time in every crit talking about value drawings don't have outlines. So don't build them in. So you can lay in the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the curves of each stripes as you're laying them in. Try to put some charcoal down. Wherever you see darks in the image, put it down. You want to lay the darks in, brush it all down, come back with your eraser, carve in lights where you see lights at, and keep working to have enough rough shapes, the big overall shapes, to start to really build from, to build up. So with each stripe, they really have to curve around that cone and then fall away when you run to the edge of the cone. But if you try to follow each stripe across the whole fabric, it's going to make you crazy. So I would rather see you build it, do one cone, one section at a time. All of the stripes, the lights and darks, that fall within that one part of a cone, instead of trying to draw one long ribbon that runs along the entire thing. That'll make you crazy. And when a stripe runs around a corner, it doesn't necessarily line up again with it when it picks back up again. The weirder these stripes get, the better it gets in your drawing. It's much harder to draw these things perfectly straight and kind of even it all out than it is to just let the weird shapes of the stripes happen. You're going to make a million adjustments during the course of this drawing. And that's good. It'll go through changes. Cones get longer, shorter. Each stripe twists and turns. Follow it. Here I'm doing a quick demonstration to show the geometry of the stripes. How they run up and around each of the cones. And you can really think about what we did in those ribbon drawings and how you have the straight edges on the side, then the curve. Plus, they don't just line up when it runs around a corner. Follow each of these stripes all the way to the edge. Don't just let them fade out. So in this final drawing, I'm leaving it up to you what your choice of materials are. You can start with vine charcoal, go to the extra soft compressed, and pull out your lights with just the eraser. That's great. Or if you want to go back to the white chalk, black chalk on either white paper or gray paper or tone paper if you can find it, that's fine. It really is what you feel like you want to take on. As far as size goes, 18x24 is a fine size. If you're using tone paper that's a little smaller, that's fine. Just make sure you really work that drawing. I'm more interested in the process, the work you're putting into it, than necessarily the size of the drawing. So if it feels more manageable to limit the size of the paper, fine. Just make sure you're pouring your work into that drawing. So remember, process is everything in this drawing. The more you can quiet the thing down with your brush, paper towel, chamois, rework, the better it's going to get. This drawing needs to go through generations of change. Don't just go with your first marks and think it's going to work. It won't. It'll look like you are lazy. I don't think you're lazy. You got this. You're going to be fine. Okay, go.